G'day guys, it's Jake here. Nothing in this video is financial advice. Please do research when it comes to investing. Please sure check out my links below, including exchanges I use and social media content that I post. Alright, let's go. So today's video, we're going to talk a few things about the current market and where we're at in terms of Bitcoin, and I'm not talking about the stock market as well. Look at some altcoins and do an all-round video this one. So we'll start off with Twitter, and Jacob King has posted this: breaking inside Bitcoin whale who profited from last week's crash, currently short 235 million with 10x leverage. All right, so he's shorting at 111,190, and the price went to that there, and currently we are lower. So this guy is in profit. He's got a big stop loss there, so he's gonna he's got plenty of room to go. He's probably gonna close his short out pretty soon, but he's making money, this guy, so he knows something, and this is right before it dropped. So it went to 114,000 recently, and now it's come back down. It's had a bit of a fake pump and then a dump for Bitcoin, and now he's probably laughing right now. So he was underwater a little bit then, and now he's 1.3 million underwater. Now he's fine. So that's that whale there. It's a fair bit of leverage there. 235 million. So it's quite big. On the next one, fear and greed. So we're at 25, extreme fear, which is interesting. Yesterday we were 34. Last week 34. And last month 35. Then you can see this is where we are on the timeline. And 17th October 22, 23, the 18th, and we're getting to these levels. We get back down here again, and the 22nd of October, and we've got similar levels here on the 12th of October, and sort of here in 11th. So that was your big liquidation dump, and went lower the next day, and came up again, the relief, and then down again, and then up, and then down. So we're finding lows, and we're sort of sticking around these extreme sort of fearful levels, and that's what you want to see. Especially with times like this, is you want to see the sentiment really feel it, and to say that we could come to a bottom quite soon, which is a good thing to see. Then reverse from here and then go higher. But it'll take some time, I think. It won't happen straight away, but the sentiment is showing that we are quite fearful now. We're reading 25 here. On to the altcoin season index, and we're currently at 43. So we're heading towards Bitcoin season now. We were in alt season here, up here, on the 17th of September. Okay. We got to around 80 odd level, and now we come back down. We're in the middle of this zone. So we're in between. Okay. Now, I did say that once we peak up and we started coming down, straight away if we spike up and start dropping, we're going to probably head to Bitcoin season. As we get these spikes here, August 2020, bam, down to Bitcoin season. Into late that year until we had the alt season in 2021. Okay, so that happened then. The 2017 cycle, it really took until December to get going. And then January, we saw it there in 2018. So it took basically, December to January. So it took only a month to really shoot up there. And you got February and last until March, and then bam. But really, the USD price didn't stay high for this long. It's just accounting for its outperformance against Bitcoin, the altcoin market, of course, against Bitcoin. So higher until it dropped. Right, so same as 2021. This June period, it dropped. We had another peak up into January 2022, and then down. But even the bear market, you still get these pumps up and down. So it really depends, and we are sort of cooling off at the moment. So we are 43. So premature calls alt season, you can see out there on Twitter, are very premature. So just ignore them until we get down to Bitcoin season, and then you can start screaming for alt season then, because then we can only go up from there. So when we get to the lows, you can see it's an oscillator. It goes up and down like this, you know what I mean? So it's oscillating between the two, and once we get this alt season, which inevitably will happen, it won't occur until we get Gets Bitcoin season first. Bitcoin takes over. It has its massive run up into its final peak, and then the alts will follow. Okay, so you want to see the rotation after this metric goes down to here. So on to price now. So on to price, and here we are on the 3-day time frame, and we are below the bull market spot band, as you can see here, and we're above the 50-week moving average. So in between, which is quite interesting. So that we did reject a big wick here. We'll go on the day time frame and show you closely. We did get a big wick. So we went up to 114,000 roughly, as you can see there, like I mentioned, and bang, back down again. So only showing resistance here, and also showing that made a low, made a high, made a lower low, and a lower high. So this is downward price action at its finest. We get a final low to get down to here, to the 50-week moving average, which is, I think it's around 102, 400. This is a bit slow, this on the daily time frame. Go to the weekly time frame. You see this is where it is now, okay? As time moves on, another week goes by, it could be high at 103. Let's just take that into account. This keeps rising as to meet price, okay? So this could come in 103,000 roughly, and this will check back in with the 50-week moving average, okay, as we did here in April. It came back to it and did in August 2024, and also in September 2024. I did do it in 2023. Even though it broke this bull market support band, it didn't come down to the 50-week, but we got very close. We got basically 125,000. It was sitting at 124.3, so we were a little bit off, but not quite there. So it doesn't always have to go back there, okay? But usually when it breaks this bull market support band, it goes to the 50-week. You see here, you break it, go to 50 weeks straight away, and then you go back prior moments. And when you break it, okay, you can retest it as resistance and come back down as support on the 50-week moving average, okay? And happened here too in the bear market. You break it, test it as resistance, and come back down support. All right, so I can go back and show you more examples, but this is not the video to do that. I've made a video describing the times it has broken and touched the 50-week. It usually occurs after it's broken bull market support band. We have done that on this weekly candle, so we are heading down there now. Only a matter of time before we get there. It's probably another week or two before we reach this level. It's not a very big drop, okay? So if I pull the ruler down, we're only like 5% away. So quite insignificant. So yeah, pretty good. And that's that one. All right, so and then look at the oscillators now. Go back to the automatic charts. For our time frame, if you like to look at the MACD, we are bearish, okay? So nothing you can't get bullish until this crosses bullish. The pink above the blue. At the moment, we are bearish, unfortunately. So, yep, that's nothing to think about just yet. And the RSI is looking pretty weak there too. And also the risk metric, which I like to sort of hover over. It's about 100. It's about, what's that say? 36. Okay. So it's about 36 in the risk metric. I want to see this go down below 30, be ideal, be fantastic. Like we did here, you know, price goes and bottoms out very, very well. And this risk metric shows it. Also here, pretty much all throughout this level. Okay. The risk metric was very, very low, and price was quite low. And then 2023, of course, this low trough here and the risk metric down here. That's what you want to see. All right. So these occurrences, if this plays out again, we're laughing. If it doesn't, and it just sort of starts going like this, then don't worry about it. I'm not relying on it. I'm just tracking it at the moment. If it does play out, fantastic. If it doesn't, we more reliance on what happens with the MACD. Okay, MACD is my main indicator. I see this one turn bullish again and cross bullish like this. See across the pink above the blue, bullish. There goes, price goes up, and did it again. Once it got oversold under this blue line, this 20 line, okay, boom. It went higher, then went lower, and then eventually took off. It took a while, but it got going, and it took off eventually. And it happened here in 2023. Okay, boom, marked a low, and then there you go. Goes high from there. Sort of here. And this divergence played out when the price went lower. It crossed bullish. There's your low. Boom. So make a short-term low here. Went higher. And you can keep going. It's pretty accurate. It's a low there. It went a little bit higher in 2022. Has a slight push higher, not much higher than that one. Back in the 2021 middle bull market there. And you can go back further and further and test it out. But yeah, I'm just showing you some examples. And it's not perfect, but it gets you close to the bottom anyway. That's what matters the most. And you want to see this happen and play out again. Okay, so that is what I'm tracking at the moment. And yeah, just keep a close eye on it as Bitcoin price is stuck between these two moving averages. And nothing to report too much yet. So go to ETH now. So what ETH's doing. And at the moment, Ethereum is above its bull market support band. So looking stronger than Bitcoin at the moment. So stronger than the king. He's above it as we speak. And yeah, this 50 weeks way down here. So it's definitely showing more strength. Definitely it is. Can't complain with that, but you can see some consolidation here going on. So price is sort of slowing down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3-day candles in a row. On the weekly now, I'll have a look. 1, 2, 3 weekly candles. And yeah, we're looking at forming another bearish candle. Okay, so we'll see how this 20-week moving average holds of the bull market support band. It comes back down to this level here, which I've drawn out, the 3,500 level, which is basically this significant low when it shot up, retested it and went higher. Go on the logarithmic chart, and you can see it's this upward sloping trend line that I've drawn, okay? From here. So yeah, that's that trend line, and also here, okay? So we should meet it, price, we have wick to it, okay? This wick here, price can also come back down and fully consolidate before going higher. So I just see a little, move down, unfortunately, for Ethereum before going higher. And this would line up with a proper MACD cross. Okay, seeing a bit of a bearish MACD at the moment, coming down on the weekly time frame. So overbought here, unfortunately. And on the 3-day time frame, we're seeing the MACD getting to the very oversold levels. Okay, so it's looking to slowly curve, and then once it crosses bullish like this, you can find a bottom and then go higher. So that's what I'm waiting on. And yeah, similar to this, went bullish here, crossed bullish, and went higher. And, as you can see, price went higher there. Again, go back to here in 2023, of course. Price bullish, and then boom. All right, it's not perfect, like I said, but it works out when you you add confluence factors like the trend line, the bull market support band. So you add these confluence factors together with the MACD, and it works great. So that's all we can do, and that's all I'm tracking at the moment. In RSI, nothing to say that one, just going down, and the rest metrics for Bitcoin. So that's that one there, and yeah, that's for Ethereum. You see it's coming a bit lower before going higher. So I'm bullish. Okay, I'm not bearish anymore. I was a fair bit, but now I'm starting to invest, put money where my mouth is. I'm showing a bit more bullishness now. So we're nearly there. We're nearly at the right. It's a bit of time left, and we'll see what happens from there. Because USDT dominance is a very, very interesting chart. It's basically the inverse of Bitcoin. Okay, this is what really may be bearish short term on Bitcoin. You had this these higher lows, higher highs sort of thing going on here. I was like, ooh, interesting. So higher high, higher low, higher high. But this low holds, in early October, this is going to make a new high, and obviously it did. It went right up here. Surprised me even how high it went, and it actually went to the, this significant level here, basically downward sloping trend line, and fantastically wicked to it, perfectly, absolutely perfectly wicked to it. So we got this retest here, and I think that is it. That the low is in, all right, for Bitcoin, and the high is in for this chart. This USDT dominance, USDT being the biggest stable coin, and you could see a little more upside and then down. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. We were filled this week pretty much. This week's been filled, but not much more. Bitcoin will go to 50-week moving average, and then be off a cliff, and then we want to break these sort of support levels. All right, so you want to sort of break this level, which is 414 roughly. So touch here and touch there, and then this white line sitting at 3.8%. Once we break that, we're laughing. Okay, this is green because we're bullish, and we want to just go all the way down here as far as we can. We get the massive bullish Bitcoin price action from there. So that's what we want to see play out this chart. Almost there, almost out of this bearish rut. And you can see we're coming up to the overbought levels for this chart. So just let it play out and cross bearish. All right, that's all we can do. And same as the RSI is getting up there too, which is good to see. And risks for Bitcoin. So that's that one. Bitcoin dominance should be going higher soon. This is trickling slightly. It's getting there. It's pushing higher, but we want to see an explosive move for this one. Just to fill this wick a bit more, okay. And look, I was saying 66% is where I see this thing going. Coming up to that again, at the least, this could play out potentially. That is my worst case scenario. So going up to these levels, 66%. Best case scenario is 63-ish level, and that's it. The alt season there. We'll see what this does by December, because it all depends on what the Fed does. Okay, the Fed's balance sheet will be the biggest thing where it determines where this chart goes. If the Fed, when the next meeting comes end this month, decide to end QT, then probably we start rolling over pretty soon. Or if they say no, we're continuing quantitative tightening, and we'll, in the future we'll stop doing that reduction, and end up having in December, because there's no meeting in November, so December happens, then I can see this going up to 63 at least, and then going lower. If it doesn't happen in December, depending if that meeting happens in December or not, and then they decide to end QT. If they don't end QT in December, then I see this thing going to 66. If it ends December, then this is my scenario, okay? So December here, I'll write it down basically so you can see. That's for December. If it goes higher, all right, higher than that, that'll be basically either Jan or Feb, okay? I can't spell. Jan or Feb. So either one of these scenarios play out. Will depend on the ending of the balance sheet, okay? So that is crucial, and that's where I see his dominance going. But I see it going higher, regardless. Whether, depending on if this meeting ends QT, which probably start going down now, essentially, or December, or January, February. For these scenarios, I'm looking at depending on what the Fed does with their balance sheet, because I can show you what this is, So, if I can find it, probably can't find it. There it is. There's your Fed balance sheet, okay? And so this goes down, 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 down. Bitcoin dominance goes up, 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 up. As you can see, there's your lines, QT. Boom. Bitcoin dominance goes higher. QE happens. Bitcoin dominance falls off a cliff. It dies down. It gets into the altcoins. QT happens. Bitcoin dominance outperforms. QE, and then flattening the balance sheet, basically. Slight downward move, not much. Inconsistent, predictable. Bitcoin dominance drops. All right, so you can see there, that's what happens. And it's just easily overlaying the Fed balance sheet and seeing, okay, this is where this thing could really turn around, is when this turns around. All right, so that's important to note. And so this ties into the same as this chart here, playing out exactly the same with USD DT dominance and USDC dominance included in this metric. But yeah, we can see a bit more movement upwards for this chart as well. So going down. So we'll wait and see what this happens too. The altcoins might struggle for a bit longer, unfortunately, against Bitcoin and these other two as well. So they could take a hit on the USD pairs, most likely. Not much pain to go though. I think the majority of the pain is just about over, but it's not completely over. If this metric keep going higher, we'll have to wait and track it, because this is really just showing three main dominant coins in the space. Okay, so that's that one. And yeah, look, this big wick here needs to be filled. Probably get 70% and then drops. Like I said, similar to what it looks at the other chart, Bitcoin dominance. If it ends in January, February, we're going higher. If it ends in December, probably going to get to here, okay? Or 71%, 70%. And then there's your alt season, all right? So that's what you want to see. And you got the futures here. Got the futures. And get rid of the balance sheet for a second. And yeah, look, we're just sort of trickling higher. I've got 0.02%, not much higher. It's pretty flat. It hasn't really gone anywhere. A daily time frame. And yeah, sort of struggling here. See if we can push higher or we start rejecting and going lower. That's sort of interesting to see. NASDAQ looking the same. A double top is playing out or something's going on there. And the Russell also looks like a weird looking pattern, this one. So we'll see what happens to the price action there. Yeah, you can draw a trend line if you want to draw a trend line and go, okay, we're coming up, touching here, 1, 2, 3. If this breaks, we'll probably go to the bull market support band. If it holds, like it has held, it'll keep going higher. But it's inevitable, it will come back down to the bull market support band, okay? Because we haven't been there since August. So we can definitely check back in. But it's been 2 months. And it did here too, sorry. Sorry, it didn't. Just here, how's it just a trend line? So yeah, it can check back in when it wants to check back in. I did say in November it could come back down to this level, correct a bit more, and then go higher. But anything's possible, okay? Because you got to look at how far it is away from the current price. We're about 6%, okay? So we'll have to wait and see how that one plays out. And yeah, nothing else to say about that. Old Bitcoin pairs are down. Okay, ETH Bitcoin is trickling lower, and the bull market support band has been tested in this one. Weekly time frame, and I draw this yellow line here at 0.18. So I do see this is a 50-week moving average, so I'll probably see this sort of playing out in the short term. Come back down. There's your low, as low as it goes, and then alt seasons there. I do see it being a stronger outperformance than the altcoin market in general, because it's had its bleed down to here in April, and seeing something similar played out here in late 2020 is very similar to what we're seeing now, in my opinion. We've got this 50-week moving average here, as you can see, and then went higher. Okay, we can go lower than that. You can come back to this green box again. Okay, did twitch a little bit lower, like here. But 50-week moving average seems pretty likely. And it held it again in March. And then went up to the tops, okay? So this is what I sort of see playing out. It's the yellow line here. And that's pretty much it, really, for this, these charts and that. And you got others against the top 10 coins, and they're quite low. Very, very low. As low as you want them to go. So yeah, I don't think they are lower than this wick. This was a green box. So I draw this green box, and I thought this is as low as I wanted to go. To the outperformance, that's underperforming, unfortunately. So we're coming enough to say, okay, we're bottomed out in this chart, especially this wick. But whether we fill it or not is another question. and I want to really see the worst of it. So hopefully it's bottomed. And this wick here looks pretty nasty as well. Will we fill this wick? And you want to fill it when price action goes higher, not when it goes lower. So then at least the price is going up, but not as much as Bitcoin, as others against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin goes higher and these others underperform. At least it drops on the back of an upwards move, not a downwards move. It would be pretty brutal if it goes on a downward move. And yeah, that's what you see there. So we touch this wick, this box here. Of January 2021, September 2019, and November 2017. So we've bottomed out, but whether we come back down here again is a question of is it upwards price action or downwards price action. So yeah, there's the others charts against Bitcoin, and that's pretty well it for this video. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. We just went over some certain things, like a tweet as well, shorting 250 million with Bitcoin, and he was out of the money, losing a bit, and now ever since $114,000 spike up price to retest the bull market support band, Bitcoin has dropped down to 108,000. So he's in profit, this guy. So he's laughing. And that's that one. And he's got his stop loss all the way up to 123,000. So it wasn't surprising that he was getting away from this one and do well on it. So yeah, anyone can do what they want to do, and he's banking big profits at the moment. So good on him. Also looked at the altcoin season index and seeing that we're sort of heading towards Bitcoin season out of the altcoin season, fortunately, as Bitcoin dominance starts to rise. So you should see that money rotate to Bitcoin and it start to charge up eventually and leads the rest of the market, as it always does, and shoots up higher before then rotating money into the altcoin market. So that's what you got to note, is Bitcoin needs to steal that liquidity, unfortunately. So yeah, we're going to head lower. We're at 43 at the moment, and we'll head down to the bottoms before getting an alt season after that. So I'll be calling alt season once we get to Bitcoin season, okay? It's like an oscillator. It goes up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And yeah, I showed you in the video. So that's that one. The fear and greed is 25 at the moment. We're extremely fearful, and we're sort of down that trough area, and we're heading a bit lower. Haven't seen it get to the teens so far. So we want to get this as teens. We did back in the tariff fear in April. So we see this happen again. That'd be really, really good to see sentiment sort of flush out and capitulate. And then, the lows are pretty well in. So we're nearly there in terms of fear and greed. Looked at the charts as well, seeing that, yeah, we are nearly there. Okay, we're nearly there. All right, so as far as we're stuck in a hard place between the bull market support band and the 50-week moving average Bitcoin. So I want to see which way it wants to go. It's rejecting off the bull market support band now. See if it goes to 50-week. Will be a matter of time whether we find out that's going to be the case. But I certainly think we probably get there first, check in with it, and then go higher from there. So it's been a pretty strong. It's the line in the sand for this bull market. If we break below it and close a weekly candle below it, we're screwed. It's over. The bull market's over. Forget about pack up your bags, and the bear market's just about to begin. At the moment, I don't think it's going to be the case. I think it's going to hold. And that'd be a great buying opportunity if that's the case. So just keep in mind that is the last line of defense, and it's 102,400. We should see it rise to 103,000 by next week. And yeah, it keeps on rising, which is a good thing. As Bitcoin price is consolidating and dropping a bit lower. And we should check in with it to go higher. And also looking at the MACD on the Bitcoin 3-day time frame, looks pretty bearish at the moment. So you could turn around after we hit the 50-week. Also Ethereum, that's price action as well. And some old Bitcoin pairs. And yeah, dominance and USDT dominance. So yeah, all those charts. And yeah, everything points in the direction of a bit more lower to go, a bit more consolidation, accumulation, and then we go higher from there. So we should see a eventual alt season, but it's nothing fancy at this stage. It's accumulation season, and the stock market is a bit and ahhing which way it wants to go. If it pushes higher, it does. If it drops back to their bull market support bands, the reset as well. But we're still ways from that happening, so that could happen next month. who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Just got to track, and have a strategy in place and track it, and just and execute based on the strategy you've implemented yourself. So that's important to note. And don't get too fearful, emotional. Act like a robot and buy according to your plan. So that's that one. So if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like. Comment your thoughts below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. And check out the links below. And I'll catch you next one. Cheers.